We've just come off the Youth Strike weekend.
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
It was a good weekend. We had about 575 people at the event this week. They represented about 55 churches, and it was a good time. We just had a great event.
You had a Friday night lead-in, and then all day Saturday. Tell me a little bit about Friday, what that was like as people came in.
Yeah, Friday's always an exciting time because people come in. You've got a sort of a mixture of some people that have been there several years, some youth that have been there for several years, and youth leaders that have been bringing their youth groups for a long time. And we've got always a good contingent. I think we had about 50% of the both adults and youth this year that were first-time people. So it's always fun to get everybody there and get everybody kind of organized and started out and kind of see that energy level start out oftentimes kind of slow and certainly build up during the week. So for the weekend.
Is that a larger contingent of new faces than in years past?
I think so. We haven't tracked that real precisely the last couple of years, but I know at least with the adults, I think that was a larger number of first-time people than we've probably had. So, yeah.
Okay. And then Saturday began with some music and a very special guest.
Yeah, Bishop Tremble was with us on Saturday morning. He's been with us every year since he's been here, and I think the youth always look forward to having him there, and I think he certainly looks forward to being there. He seems like he enjoys the time, and he spent some time addressing the participants, about 20 minutes or so in conversation with them, and then also spent some time just kind of hanging around and visiting with people more informally, and sat in on a couple of workshops, so it was good to have him there.
Yeah, and you had a music group called Inner Rain.
Inner Rain was the praise band, the band that was with us all week. We had a couple of other bands that were there for a short amount of time, and then we had 1,000 Foot Crutch as sort of the main band, or the performance band that was there on Saturday evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Brian
Rickey was the keynote speaker this year. Brian is a United Methodist pastor from Loveland, Colorado, and we invited Brian back this year. Brian actually was our keynote speaker the first year that we had Youth Strike in 2001, and this was our 10th year anniversary, and so we invited Brian back to come and kind of see the event that he helped to kind of start and give birth to. So it was fun to have him back and to hear from him again. So.
And he had on a hardly plain shirt during the day.
Yes, he did. He was hard to miss. So.
And also, he seemed to be right up on top of technology with his Kindle in hand to take some notes about young entrepreneurs who were in their 20s or movers and shakers.
Yes, he was. He's always been up on technology, and he used his Kindle. He had done some videotaping of participants when he got there on Thursday, actually, and he had gone around and done some videotaping. Some of the participants at Youth Strike that were just arriving, some from the core team, and then also just walked around the Skywalk system and asked some people some questions that he then incorporated into his speaking time. So that was kind of fun too.
Good. Now, running as part of the morning sequence was some small group discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Say a little bit more about how the youth were divided up into some of the topics and what some of the topics were that they discussed.
Yeah. We had 24 small group leaders, about that many. I think 22 or 23 small groups this year, and those are sort of sorted by age. So the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th graders spend time in small groups talking around some curriculum that's been specifically developed for those times. So they spend some time talking about the weekend, how things are going. They play some games, get to know each other, and they kind of work their way through this curriculum in the 4 times that they meet. This year we did something different. And the 11th and 12th graders were invited to sign up for more like kind of a workshop time, and so they spent some time talking more sort of issue-oriented. So there were some workshop times that were around college and how to choose a college and what to expect from college. There were some around stress level as you're an older teen years, older high school years, dating, relationships. There were about 10 different topics that they got to choose from and be involved in that kind of way. So that was kind of a fun way to do it this year. And then also during that workshop, or during that small group time, for the adults, we do workshops on Saturday. So they have a couple of different opportunities, again, to sign up by topic area. We had a couple of workshops around missions, a couple of workshops around hunger awareness and hunger alleviation. And so the adults get to participate in workshops as sort of a training opportunity during that small group time as well.
When I was there on Saturday morning, there were a number of financial counts that were presented in terms of Meals for the Hungry. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Every year at Youth Strike, the core team makes a whole lot of decisions during the course of the year as we're preparing for Youth Strike. The theme for the year, who the keynote speaker will be, who the band will be, all those kinds of things. One of the decisions they also make is around which mission project or what kind of a mission project we want to have that year. So every year, at least for the last 4 or 5, we've always had a designated mission component that is supported in some way on Saturday. Sometimes in years past, we've done canned goods for Bidwell Riverside. Sometimes we've encouraged youth groups to raise money for a specific project that they can donate to. This year the core team came up with the idea of doing a hands-on mission project with Meals from the Heartland. And so we encouraged youth groups that would be participating in Youth Strike to raise some funds ahead of time, and to then bring those funds to the event. And we had made arrangements with Meals from the Heartland to package meals during some free time on Saturday afternoon. So we raised about $6,800 for a total, and packaged, I have to look at my number here, packaged 46,535 meals.
Wow.
During the course of about 3 hours on Saturday afternoon. So it's a great program, Meals from the Heartland. They were great to work with. And I think that the youth really enjoyed the opportunity to be engaged in a real hands-on, very much hands-on mission project where they were actually filling the bags with the material. So.
Sure. Coming around then into Sunday, there was a morning gathering and then a send-off. What did they leave with?
Yeah, thank you. We always work real hard at Youth Strike to think about that people will be coming to the event, youth and adults for that matter, will be coming to the event from all kinds of places. Theologically, all kinds of places, but certainly journey in their faith, all kinds of different places. So we try to be real intentional with the event. In fact, one of the sort of catchphrases of the event that we've always talked about is that wherever you are in life or in faith, Jesus invites you to follow. So we work hard to know that there will be some people there who maybe for the first time will be making some kind of a faith commitment. There will be other people who have made that kind of a commitment at some other point in their life and may be looking at an opportunity to sort of recommit. There may be other people who have committed themselves to a life of faith, following Jesus Christ long time ago, and have been faithfully living out that journey ever since. And this event is hopefully just an opportunity to sort of acknowledge that they're on the path that they want to be on. So the Sunday morning time has the last keynote address by the keynote speaker, and the last small group opportunity, and then the service, the communion service, again invites people to sort of identify for themselves where they are and where they would like to be, and to acknowledge God's presence with them. So we had this year we had people fill out cards if they wanted to that identified sort of where they were at this point in their journey, where they were at this point during Youth Strike, and then we'll be sending those cards to them in about 6 months, just as a way to kind of remind them of where they were the first weekend in February. So.
Two last questions.
Mhm.
One, you mentioned the core team.
Yeah.
Want to say a little bit about that and some of the people who have been with you for a long time?
Absolutely. Yeah, the Youth Strike event is just a fabulous event for a lot of reasons, but one of those is the work of the core team. Every year we have about 40 individuals. We work carefully to have that split about 20 adults and 20 youth who apply to be members of the core team that will work throughout the year to plan the event and to make some of those decisions I mentioned earlier. Theme for the year, the speaker, the bands, all those kinds of things. So we have lots of people every year who apply. We do our best to accept all those applicants, but we also work around some geographical issues and some age issues and gender and all those kind of things, so we have a good mix of people. The core team are all volunteers, and they all work really hard to make this a great event. They meet at least every other month, we'll be starting probably late February, early March to start planning Youth Strike for 2012. So they work hard, and absolutely this event couldn't come off without them. And we have some real good, again, both youth and adults, some real good people who have been around for 5, 6, 8, some of them the full 10 years that we've been doing this event. So yeah, it's a great group of people and a lot of fun to work with.
All right. And you alluded to an answer to my last question. Mm-hmm. What's next? What's next?
Well, certainly what's next is an event in 2012. Sometime in probably early to mid-February. Usually by this time we have the date and the location identified. But this year we're working around the Iowa caucuses that are scheduled for the first weekend in February. So
no scoop right
now. No scoop yet. No scoop on the location or the time. But certainly early February, and absolutely we'll have the event again, and assume that it'll be a fantastic event.